Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and thank you to the Honourable Member for Exeter, and congratulations on your maiden speech. My actual hometown of Thatcham was recorded in the Guinness Book of Records in 1990 as the oldest continuously inhabited settlement in the country, dating back some 3,000 years, but not quite a parliamentary seat. Can I also pay my respects and tributes to your sister? I referenced my own sister in my speech and her reliance on the NHS too. Madam Deputy Speaker, I've been in the Chamber for many maiden debates and I've been impressed by all previous speakers, and I congratulate them all on sharing their passion and their local knowledge. Newbury, where I'm the Member of Parliament for, has returned a member since 1835. But since the recent boundary changes, the constituency has now lost the south bank of the Thames at Streatley and villages including Compton, West Ilsley, and pertinent to me, the village of my grandparents, Hampstead Norris. But I know that they are safe in the stewardship of the Honourable Member for Reading West and Mid Berkshire. But we have still retained our market towns of Newbury, Thatcham and Hungerford, alongside our beautiful villages of Lambourne, Peasmore, Inkpen, Hermitage, Cheveley and Coldash, where I went to primary school, to name but a few. We have a proud racing heritage in our constituency, with Lambourne training some of the best horse races in the world, and in Newbury you'll find one of the most prestigious horse races in the calendar. In Hungerford you can spend the afternoon antique shopping, and in Thatcham you can visit one of the largest inland reed beds in southern England, home to internationally important species. But, Madam Deputy Speaker, we are also home to Vodafone, one of the global leaders in telecommunications, Xtrac in Thatcham supplying Formula One components, and Stryker, one of the world's leading medical technological companies. Away from the cutting-edge technology, we also have traditional craftsmanship on offer from companies like Benchmark in Kintbury, who have been building and designing furniture there for over 40 years, and delightful country homes like Welford Park, which was home to the Great British Bake Off, and one of the most unique and beautiful theatres in the country, the Watermill at Bagnor. And of course, we are supported by many great charities: Greenham Common Trust, the Community Furniture Project, 8 Bells for Mental Health, local almshouses, and sadly, West Berkshire Food Bank and Newbury Soup Kitchen, who are needed to help a growing number of local residents. We also enjoy our natural beauty of being surrounded by the ANOB and 200 of the most precious chalk streams in the country. Like all previous maiden speeches, we all like to claim the beauty of our own area, but I think the author Bill Bryson has it spot on and may be able to stop future disagreements in the chamber. In his book, The Road to Little Dribbling, he writes, "There isn't a landscape in the world that is more artfully worked, more lovely to behold, more comfortable to be in than the countryside of Great Britain. It is the world's largest park, its most perfect accidental garden." And he concludes by saying, all we have to do is look after it. Well, Madam Deputy Speaker, as a member of a political party with a proud heritage of standing up for the environment, I can assure honourable members and my constituents that I will do my bit whilst in this place to make sure that we do look after it. And the decision that I believe this debate will conclude with, given the cross-party support on all sides, will also contribute to that ideal, and I welcome the changes proposed. As the member for Newbury, I will uphold our traditions. I will protect our environment, because together, without those, the Newbury constituency would not be what it is: a balance between our environment, our traditions, and our ability to innovate. These were also supported by my predecessors. My immediate predecessor, who actually, strangely, I saw in Central Lobby just before coming in here, was Laura Farris, and she delivered meaningful change in this House on sexual abuse and women's violence. She secured new laws on sexual violence in the Domestic Abuse Act, and she campaigned for tougher sentences for fatal domestic abuse. It's a further credit, Madam Deputy Speaker, to Laura that the handover to me was as smooth as one could have hoped. I wish Laura and her family all the best for the future, and I'm sure she will continue to make a difference. I also want to briefly praise my two other predecessors from the constituency of Newbury. Richard, now Lord Benyon, who served Newbury from 2005 to 2019 and has always been open and approachable to me and offered me some early advice when I was first elected. And the Liberal Democrat MP, David Rendell, who held the seat following a then record-breaking by-election, we're rather good at those on this side, from 93 to 2005, and who I ran with in my home ward back in 2007, starting my electoral journey in West Berkshire. All three of those predecessors cared deeply about Newbury and West Berkshire, as I do too. But in new times, there are new challenges. The Royal Berkshire Hospital in Reading is in great need of replacement, and I look forward to a swift review of the new hospital programme. The West Berkshire Community Hospital in Newbury can and is willing to do more, so that diagnostic services can be provided locally. Without the NHS, Madam Deputy Speaker, my sister Michelle would not be here today. We need to cherish it, fund it and modernise it. Now, despite our apparent wealth, in Newbury we have pockets of poverty. I alluded earlier that we are seeing an increase in food banks and soup kitchens. The cost of living is still hurting, and the proposed removal of the winter fuel allowance will compound that problem even more, despite our best efforts to get those who are entitled onto pension credits. House prices have soared, now over 10 times the average salary, increasing demand for rented houses, for rented homes, and adding pressure on housing waiting lists. The ability to have a warm and secure home is the foundation of a settled life. Children learn better, crime is lower, and community cohesion is stronger when you have a settled community. The last 14 years I have worked in social housing. We must do more to deliver much-needed homes at social rent. Now, I wish to conclude my speech, Madam Deputy Speaker, by giving a small round of thanks. First, to my constituents for entrusting me with the honour of representing us here, and to my local team for engaging in so many positive conversations on the doors. I will endeavour to pay back their support of me with my deeds in this House. To my wife, Gemma, and my children, Oliver, James and Eleanor, I say thank you for your constant support and love that has allowed me to fulfil my dream of being the Member of Parliament for my home. Now, Madam Deputy Speaker, as a 16-year-old, I arranged a visit to Parliament, and as we were shown around the chamber, we were just coming past the opposition benches, and a school friend cheekily sat down as he went past. Now, I'm not going to use parliamentary privilege to name him, but he encouraged me to do the same, which you'll be pleased to hear I declined. However, I did say that I will sit on the benches if I ever get elected. Well, 25 years later, I can now rightly take my place on these famous green benches, so some dreams do come true. As the son of a trade union official, I suspect I was always going to end up in a role where I could speak truth to power. So I want to say a thank you to my father Raymond for instilling a sense of fairness in me and the belief that you can make change happen. And to my mother, Geraldine, and stepfather Colin, you have supported every election that I have stood in. Thank you for being there for me, for keeping me honest, and reminding me that it is nice to be important, but it is more important to be nice. Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker.